moment I understood the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me. I craved the strength and certainty of steel. I aspire to the purity of the blessed machine. Your kind cling to your flesh, as if it will not decay and fail you. One day the crude biomass that you call the temple will wither, and you'll beg my kind to save you. But I am already saved, for the machine is immortal. Even in death, I serve the young Messiah.
We are taking out the 5th Panzer for a spin. We got a lot of Leopard 2A3s and 2A4s in this video. We're going to be up against the 79th Armored here in the middle. So it's going to be quite an intense little fight. Now speaking of Armored, I am playing as the 5th Armored. My opponent is playing as the 79th Armored. Winnie as the 82nd is going to be up against Pipiyaka, who's playing as the 35th. So we got Airborne versus Airborne over there. And on the right side, we have 39 versus 8th Mechanized. So we really have like a good clash of really capable battle groups, but also battle groups that are really similar to each other. So today we're playing as a 5th Armored, and I'm going to be trying out a strategy that a member of the Discord uses a lot, which is start an opener with only recon infantry that is really good at destroying other recon infantry. And then we basically have some AA, we have a Roland 3, a Gepard, we have 2 heavy tanks, and we have like 2 infantry squads and also a couple of supply units. Now Stahl is moving in with Spetsnaz GRU. We make short work of one of those squads. 2 of these Fern Spaders will do a lot of damage. You have the HQ or HK21 and you have the PSG sniper. So you do a ton of damage there. And one Spetsnaz GRU squad is just no problem. On top of that, you have the MP5 SD, which is really good at close quarters. So let's just go into neutral mode. We're going to do that from time to time. Our opponent on the left, lots of Desantnikis and BMD2s. Winnie is definitely having a hard time here. He's also up against 30mm grenade launchers. A ton of Iglas. So that's kind of surprising. And one thing I like about his gameplay style on the left is everything is UAC, so he's going to get a lot of refunds. Now, we are up against armor, so TADU is popping out. We do have 2 of these Leopards firing away at him. We missed both shots somehow. That would have actually been the easiest kill ever, because those would have been side shots. But we do move out our guys, and they are now clapping a couple of BMP2s. And I am going to try to zoom in more often, because that's something I keep forgetting to do. So I'll try to keep it zoomed in a lot of times. So yeah, Leopard 2A4s are just insane. The 2A4 itself has 20-20, so 20 front armor, 20 AP. The TADU has 20-20 as well. But a TAD UK has 21-21, so those are really the ones you need to be afraid of. That is 315 units, TADU is 305. Ours is more expensive because it has, better accuracy, and that definitely plays a huge role in the price there. Now, we noticed that there's a couple of Sapri units, they don't have any anti-tank weapons, so I do move in the M113s to try to take those guys out, or at least try to suppress them as much as possible. But the BMP here makes short work of that guy. Our AA is pretty good, so we have a Gepard and a Roland 3. We immediately smoked off my tanks when we noticed that SU-25 there. And luckily, we didn't lose a single unit yet. Well, we lost some units, but nothing too serious. So we have some more Fernspeyer coming up. Really good recon units. Special Forces, Shock Troops, Airborne, and they also have the Wi-Fi tag here. Basically, their optics increases when they stand still. It goes from very good to exceptional. And they're really good at close quarters with the MP5 SDs there. So yeah, we got a couple of those, we got 2 of those, and we do call in more tanks. Basically, every time we can, we call in some more tanks. This time I do invest in a lot of Panzer Grenadiers, the M113 variants, because that is a 9-man squad, and they're going to try to clean up on the right side. So Panzer Grenadier here with the Panzerfaust 44, not the best anti-tank weapon, but decent accuracy on it. trying to take out some of these BTRs and BMPs. FlashFox don't have any anti-tank. That is a little bit of a problem. You gotta watch out with those guys. So I do move in my tanks here. And the cool thing about this combo is the 2A3 is a command tank, right? So everything here is also getting a veterancy bonus, including the other tank that I spawned in. And that's why I have the 2A4s on the lowest veterancy. Because with the command tank that I usually use it with, it goes to medium veterancy. Actually, as a matter of fact, is it now max veterancy? It is? No. Okay, no, it's getting the veterancy bonus. I'm pretty sure these are on rookie, so 1 chevron. And then because of the 2A3, it's on 2 chevrons. It's just getting promoted by the leader, and that's what the icon is. The icon doesn't tell you which rank it is now. It just tells you that it's getting buffed by a commander. So we are getting a couple more tanks, so more 2A3 or 2A4s are being called in. Those are the Panzer Grenadiers from earlier. And we don't have a lot in regular Iltis trucks, so we're not getting a lot of refunds. But that is really the main point of this battle group. It's to basically have transports being there to support infantry, to use as recon, to use as extra fire support, or literally just to draw fire. So the 2A4 here, thanks to the FlashFox, does notice that there's a couple of tanks there and take some shots at them. So recon with armored gameplay is really the most important thing. Now if you go into neutral mode here, the opponent also has some good recon. Some Spetsnaz GRUs right there. But that is about it. That is the only recon he has. So it's quite a bit of a problem for him. Definitely want to use more than that. Let's see what else we're calling in. We are calling in a Mars. Literally the only purpose of the Mars is to fire here and get rid of that recon, because enemy recon, yeah, you just want to really just blind the enemy, and then you can do a really aggressive armored push. So we have a lot of Panzer Grenadiers here now. We have some FlashFox. I knew that he had some RPOs here, so anti-infantry units, which lack anti-tank weapons. So that's why I'm moving the M113s up front. So the Sapries can't do anything against some cheap M113s, and the machine guns will actually be able to take out those Sapries pretty easily. But when you're up against the BMP, things change a little bit. That's when the problems begin. So the Mars is opening up. We get some really nasty hits on the Spetsnaz and the Metis team. So that is a successful RD hit right there. And we actually destroyed a building. Do we actually take out any of these squads, or is it just all... Nope, okay, well, we destroyed the Metis team. GRU is on 1 HP. There's a last rocket, I believe. Okay, that is one lucky recon unit. So yeah, with the Panzer Grenadiers, the BMP-1 is not a problem. The BTRs are also not a problem at all. So they're nicely cleaning up the infantry, and since they have my right side covered, I am moving up my 2 tanks here to start hammering down on these enemy tanks, because if we don't do that and we wait for him to build up, then we're going to be in trouble. So really nice combo here, Panzer Grenadiers with FlashFox and M113s. We literally have a bit of everything. Now the GRU there is destroyed, and with that his only recon is destroyed as well. So he's gonna be in pain here. We see his BV, he doesn't see our tank. Now we open up. We do take quite a few hits here. He has tanks basically all over, and we risk getting side shot because of that crossfire. So we do fall back, but we do damage his T-62 quite a bit. Now we fall back into an area that has supplies, so that we can get these guys on health really quickly, and then get them back in action. I got a couple of squads here, and they're basically tasked with moving to the right and then move over here. So they're going to try to clean up these buildings there and secure our right flank again. Leopard 2A4 trading shots with the BV there. Unfortunately, it's not really hitting a lot of times. Only 1 veterancy, you know, it's not the best, but it's also not the worst. Its base accuracy is 65%, which is quite nuts. There you go, another good hit, brings it down to 4 HP, and with that, the BV is out for a little bit. So yeah, Panzer Grenadiers doing beautifully. The 2A3 is actually bumping up these guys, so they're actually really deadly right now. We have our AT-Gem unfortunately missed the T-80U, and the T-80U takes out the Power Milan. And that is why I'm not really a fan of NATO AT-Gem infantry. They lack the range. And, you know, Conkers are like 2800 meters range, or 26, or whatever, 100 meters. It's nuts. So he has called in another Spetsnaz GRU. Our Leopard keeps battering that. I really need that gone. Because if we just if we blind the enemy, we're going to be in a better position. So Fernspey moving in. Again, they don't have anti-tank, so these BMPs are going to be a problem. And that's where these guys come into play. So I'm moving these guys up to try to destroy those. But we also have some M113s here that can take some shots at them as well. So the 2A4 here is trading shots with the U at this point. Getting a really nice hit, but it only does 1 damage at max range because of that 20 AP, or 20 AP versus 20 armor. But we got a beautiful side shot from these guys, and it's now down to 2 HP, and with that, the T-80U is gone. Gepard, doing really good. Having an easy time on that Mi-8. We quickly deploy smoke because we see a slow-moving aircraft, and that usually means either an Su-25 or an A-10. There's no real alternative to that. We did almost lose our Leopard to a 3 command here. That could have been quite bad. Luckily, we do have some more commands on the left here. We got a Sheridan, so we wouldn't lose the zone, but that is quite a pricey unit. 320 points. So yeah, with that, we kind of win over this industrial area again. These guys are in desperate need of some supplies. We have a big old Mancetti here with 2500. Already down to 1300, literally just from fixing these guys up. So supplies are really not sufficient in this battle group yet. We definitely need either a fob or another card of supply trucks. Because I kind of ran out. It's rough. Like 40 minutes playing the way I do, aggressively and you know, cost effectively. You're gonna lose a lot of supplies, or you're gonna need a lot of supplies. So at this point, we are attack moving. I need to clean up this little patch of woods here. So the BMP2s are really the bane of my existence at this point. The infantry, not really a huge problem. The Motostrelkis I feel like aren't really the best. And especially if we have MG3s and stuff to battle against those guys. Now I was launching an artillery strike on the enemy AA batteries. There's a Cub and a Tunguska that fired from here. Stahl is doing a good move here by moving those guys. Otherwise they would have probably been toast. Did we actually take anything out with this? I don't think we did. But at least it stunned quite a few of them. So again, yeah, Power Milan, 2450 meters range, 50% accuracy, really good AP value on it. Oh, we got side shot there too by the Conkers, I believe. That could have been nasty. 20 AP on 10 side armor, basically almost destroyed it. Speaking of destroyed, 2A3 command got clapped. There's a lot of enemy tanks here. T80 BVs, U, BVK, T62, and is there a UD? There's a UD, so his first UD here, 320 points, 21 front armor, 20 AP on the gun. So I did say 21 before, but it's 20, but he has 21 on the ATGM there. So correction right there. So yeah, he basically, compared to a 2A3, do we have one here? Yeah, so it's 1919, he literally has 2 points more on the front armor and 1 point more on the AT gun, or on its main cannon. So it's quite nasty, quite a nasty little tank to be up against. So we do have a Mars opening up. Basically, I'm just trying to dislodge his AA with that. That's gonna target that Tunguska. On the left, that T80 is quite damaged. Leopard 2A3 is basically just moving in and out of the smoke to try to take these guys out. So I'm manually microing this guy. Because if I clean up this little patch of woods, then we're going to be in better shape. So yeah, Mars, really good for counter battery and just firing at a high concentration of enemy units because it stuns a lot of them. Like these guys are routed, they're stunned, they're quite damaged. They're going to need time to recuperate. And that is what you want. You don't want them to be able to turtle. The 2A3 again Helping out Winnie here is doing a huge push with the 82nd. Lots of airborne units, Apache being called in as well. Luckily the Apache has a little bit of ECM, 20% ECM, so he can actually do some damage and help out there. I do also have an Apache with rockets. Is that the rocket variant too? Yeah, so we both have the AH-64A Apache with rockets. Really good for situations like this where you just need to clean up some infantry blobs that has been bothering you. So supply has arrived. These guys are gonna go fix up. The leopards are on good health. So as I said, one hit from that guy, or from this guy on the UD, does 1 HP damage. Luckily he missed us. But, well, you know what? We got the first little, quick little lick in there. So that's 1 HP less. If I poke my head out with 2 of these 2A4s, we take out a empty gas. The BVK is unfortunately not visible. A bit too much tree line there. MiG-29 on the A10. Unfortunately, he does lose the A10. I believe to a, yep, that's a Cub. That's quite unfortunate. I think he was trying to go for the BVK, but that didn't quite work out. Now, the 85mm AT guns are really good. I do recommend you guys to try this out. 13 AP, but the fire rate on it, the aiming time, the accuracy is insane. And also it's kinetic, so if you're close to it, it's going to do much more damage. So there's the T-80B here. Quite low HP, 4 HP right there. BVK is back on health. My 2 Leopard 2A4s here are just holding down this open field, doing a really good job, while my infantry is flanking on the right. And with the supplies, this guy's going to be fixed in no time. So here we go. Spetsnaz Juryu once again trying to get a line of sight on us, but we see them before they see us. We have our Fern Speyer here that is keeping an eye on them. Now the enemy T-80UD pops out of the open, gets dropped down to 8 HP, but we get hit really badly by this tank here, which is a T-80U. Or is it a BV that hit us? I think it's the BV that hit us. But there's a lot of enemy tanks there, and we do lose one of our Leopard 2A4s, and that hurts. Now the Apache here, again, really good help. Almost takes out the Sapri immediately. But there's a huge amount of units here. Look at that, he has everything. Quite bad for our health, that's for sure. So Parmalan, once again opening up. We almost hit the T-62 on the side. That was really disappointing right there. I'm honestly just gonna take these guys out and get more supplies instead, because I don't think I need more infantry. And AT gems are kind of just, I don't know, they're kind of meh. Don't feel like I need them. But infantry here is doing pretty good. Sapris are immediately getting stunned. MG3 is doing a huge amount of suppression. And just look at that. They're already basically done for. That's really quick. That is really, really quick. Let's see what else we're buying. Got a lot of supplies being purchased. Marses are falling back just to get rearmed. Leopard 2A3 over here getting ATGM'd. Luckily that one missed. Oh, but that did a lot of damage there. 2 HP. Yeah. That is really nasty. UDs are just, man, they're just way too good. There's no good counter to it. You do have M1A1HA Abrams, but still. UD is just good. So we do have a nice little crossfire going on here. 2A3 over there is clapping it down to 6 HP. We have 3 2A3s here. Oh, look at that. That guy's down to 3 HP already. He's down to 1, I believe. And that guy's hurt. Both of these T-80UDs are not having a good time. They are not having a good time for sure. Tungushka being called in. I think Stahl at this point is trying to create a breakthrough. Luckily we have this group of tanks here that is able to block them off. We almost do get side shot by the Conkers there, but luckily we take that out immediately. But then we almost get side shot by the UD, so that is kind of the problem that that occurs when you push a little bit too far or when one of your flanks is not fully secure. So one of the T-80UDs gets clapped by our 2A3s. which was really, really nice. We kind of needed that. That's a 320 point tank gone. And in the meantime, we have more 2A3s coming up, so we're investing a lot in tanks. Really nice kill with the Roland 3 here, doing the Lord's work. And this guy got a lot of kills. On the Discord, we have a Hall of Fame chat, and there basically everyone just posts Discord, or everyone on Discord just posts screenshots of units that did really well. But one thing that didn't do really well is this Milan team. I haven't really seen it hit a single unit. Not like it's cheap either, 75 points. I could have used that on something else. So we do get a really nice artillery strike here. I have both of my Marses just firing down on the blob, thinking that he might have a lot of units here. And if we go into neutral, I mean, he has a couple, but I could have definitely used that on something better. The good thing is, the BV is getting stunned quite a bit. That is already a win. T-62 does get destroyed by something. I wonder if it was the Parma land. But now we're moving tanks into close range. Sapries, not a problem. Motostrelakis, they are a problem. 18 AP on those bad boys. But you don't want to move in too aggressively. So I do appreciate you guys sticking around. I think a lot of you also like to have these replay commentaries from time to time. But sometimes I decide to do it instead because there's either like lag or, you know, the communication wasn't really enjoyable, or the game wasn't really enjoyable to watch live, but it's still useful for, like, you know, an educational kind of replay. So there's a lot of factors that decide whether I do it live or whether I record a game that we did live again in the replay. But in this case it was just lag. There was a lot of lag going on. One of the opponents was having a bad time with his internet, and you don't want to watch a slideshow. So BVK spotted, UD is spotted. We have all of his units spotted thanks to all of our recon. It's doing really, really good. So we do move in a couple of our tanks here. We have two 2A3s and a 1A5. You would think that's probably enough. But if we go into neutral, he has a lot of tanks too. He has a T80U over there, and he has two T80s over here. So I didn't quite expect that. One thing that is good about our situation is the AA. The AA is doing really good. So over here we do peek out, but everything is targeting the UD instead of the command, which is very unfortunate. 105 just gets instant clapped, and Marder really doesn't survive for long either. Good thing is we survived with the Leopard 2A3. So we did lose a tank there, but hey, we got out with at least one of them. So that was quite painful, but hey, you win some, you lose some. The good thing about that though is that now he plays really aggressively. That's a bit of a yikes there. Lost another 2A4. A little bit too close for comfort there with the Motostrelakis, but also the tank in the back that has a perfect line of sight on our position. The good thing about our left flank, we still have Winnie pushing really hard with the airborne, and he now has a group of Sheridans that is charging across the field together with M1 IPs. But we have our tri-team here of 2A3s. We do get side shot by the Metis, bringing it down to 5 HP. So we just immediately retreat and get these guys back on health. The T80UD there is really a problem though. We get hit once by the BV. Luckily the UD doesn't manage to hit us, and we get into safety. This 2A4 over here also taking a lot of hits from those 4 tanks. But he's a champion. He's doing just fine. Look at that. Sheridan's really good at destroying infantry. Big old gun, 152mm. Huge amount of suppression. That is exactly what you want if you're fighting in towns. Yeah, Roland 3s, man, they're just wonderful. There's a lot going on in this game, and this map is definitely an interesting one. It kind of makes for, you know, a more compact battle, and I do appreciate those because it's action-packed. Like, the density of units is also high, and just makes for a really cool little show, in my opinion. So M1 IPs, Taking it on against the UD, not really gonna be the most fun time ever. I wonder if they even hit him once. Oof. Chinooks. Chinooks going in, baby. Got 5 Chinooks moving up. The amount of AA there is a little bit intense, though. We got multiple Tungushkas firing down on them. Also in a K50 Akula. I wonder if these guys actually managed to land. They do, yeah. And they unload really quick, too. Okay, well, they all kind of survives. Now, I do open up a huge artillery battery here. Basically just to stun this entire block of units. And does really, really well. And as soon as that hits, we slowly move up with a couple units. We have more tanks that are being purchased, 2A3s, and a lot of infantry as well. We also still have this 2A4 that is trying to get de-stressed. He's not having the best time. And on our right side, I haven't focused on this side a lot, but Mike is having a really good time with his tanks as well. A lot of T80s, man, but all of these T80s are stunned. They're gonna need more time to aim. Their like reload time, rate of fire is gonna be lower. Just a lot of issues. That T80 gets clapped instantly, and these guys are really not having a good time either. Actually, their rate of fire doesn't seem to be affected at all. So I guess the stress really just affects if they're gonna route or not. Especially since it's an autoloader, so they don't really, you know, depend on human emotions. Oof, and when A1 shows its side, it gets one tapped. I don't know why it did that one. Yeah, that didn't really go as I hoped it would. And one changed targets, and yep, he's dead. Very unfortunate right there. Now the 2A3s are moving up. I am moving up a couple of these Luke's A1s, basically just to create kind of a recon wave to quickly spot the enemy. And with that, we're also attack moving our tanks over there, and this guy. And the 3 tanks over here are basically creeping the Jaeger unit here company. And as soon as this guy gets into the buildings here, these guys are going to move up and try to take out stuff here. AT gun, T80BV destroyed, just like that. Another T80BV peeking over here, trying to get into a close range situation. Not the best, kind of scary. You definitely want to watch out for those. Now our 3 tanks here instantly destroy that BV. Really beautiful little ambush there from our 2A3 tri-team. 2A4 still chilling. We still have some grenadiers here. Definitely need to invest in more 2A4s instead of 2A3s. Because when you're up against UDs, man, it's just rough. That's a no bueno situation. Now if we go back into neutral mode, he doesn't have any tanks here apart from the T80BVK. That can still really be a problem. And I am moving a little bit carelessly here. If that guy peeks out and gets a side shot, we're kind of in trouble. Like, that would not be poggers. Luckily though, we did move our tanks on the left because we are getting RD'd. But we moved into the bush here. But that is all fine. Yeah, the problem I have here is the lack of recon. Or just infantry to push up in front. So we do smoke and retreat quickly back to our kind of resupply point here. Get them back up on health. And also ammunition and fuel. And then we move up again. You really don't want to just move them out like that if they're like almost destroyed anyways. Especially at close quarters. Because then one shot basically kills you. Ooh, really good shot with the Metis there. Pretty good accuracy on that, 55%. Like, that is quite good. That is actually quite good. Here we go. So now we're in a better situation here. We got some infantry on the front. We're spotting their units. The 2A4s and the 2A3s can do some damage. The Lukes here getting AT-gemmed. Unfortunately for the T80BV, that misses. But the gun took over. The gun did its job. With that fire support, those guys are nothing. But then we have a BRM that wants to play. And he gets absolutely annihilated. Now over here we're getting some AT-gem hits on us. The Cobras, 19 AP, really not that bad. But once we get into cannon range, we kind of even the odds a little bit. The UDs there, bit of a problem. There's a lot of T80s. But we're gonna take the safest option and just retreat with our guys. 80 gems. Almost taking out the 283. But man, we get out right on time. This 284 just moves in to kind of distract them and also get some shots in, but unfortunately we miss and they hit everything. So we're taking a lot of damage here. Luckily though, we do manage to fall back. So yeah, this is where the kind of the big drain of my supplies happened. They're all empty. And I'm almost out of supplies too. Luckily though, I still have infantry, so I'm taking it a little bit differently this time. We have pioneers with Panzergrenadiers moving in. We're getting some cluster missions on the enemy command. T80 BVK getting clustered. We also had another one flying around. That is going to go for the Tunguska that opened fire. Now the enemy does still have a command unit. We have a command, I don't know what you call it, Desaniki command. So in terms of like conquest points, there's not a big difference. We are up we are ahead by like 248 points. But still, if they take one of these zones for a couple minutes, like that's basically it. Now we do have a lot of artillery right now. We have 2 Larses with the 6 AP cluster, and we have 2 Marses with the, you know, the giant boom booms, the giant boomsticks. They're waiting. They're basically waiting for a good juicy target for us to hit. This Jäger Aufklär, really good position. Better position if I move them up a little bit so they can see a bit more. But it can basically detect anything in this open field. Really powerful to have that. Mike does move in to help with some tow cobras. The Tunguska there, unfortunately, has a really good line of sight and starts hammering down on these guys. So not great, but not terrible. And look at this guy, 2 HP left on that. And we're just scrounging for supplies, just empty, like almost empty supply trucks. We move them forward, try to get these guys back on health as much as possible, but get immediately drained. Look at that. Big ol' collection of opponents. T80 UDs, Tunguskas, supplies. That's like his staging ground. But he doesn't know that we see it all. So what do? Well, we target it with all of the artillery we have to take it out. And after that, we're gonna do a huge push. So I'm gonna keep it in neutral mode so that you guys can see what kind of damage that artillery did. But yeah, it's gonna be glorious. I always love a well-executed artillery mission. Now on the right, Mike is stable. ESP is trying to do an amphibious assault. For some reason. That is quite a daring amphibious assault. Probably not gonna work in any way. And then Tow Cobra finishes the job. So here we go. MLRS and cluster opening up all at the same time. One of our rocket cluster was still rearming, so it's just 2 MLRS and 1 cluster that is trying to take out as many of these units as possible. Does a huge amount of damage. I believe we only took out like 2 tanks. Yeah, 2 T80Bs. The rest kind of just manages to survive, but we also took out like some transports and supply trucks. But man, that really just dislodged that entire group of units. And with that, we are doing our big push. So we simply don't have any supplies, so we're moving it. Now 2 seaplanes were called in. We take out one of their Tunguskas with the F-16 seaplanes. 65% accuracy on those. So they're actually pretty good. Infantry is moving through the woods, cleaning that up. And our 2A3 spots the Tunguska and starts taking some shots. There we go. ADBV against 2A3s. Not really a good toss up there. And he's gone. A T80 UD also not. And now it's just 3 versus 1. You're just gonna have a bad time. But we are also gonna have a bad time. There's a T-62 here in our flank. I was kind of hoping for him to be taken out real quick, but there's another one. And a side shot from any of these tanks is gonna be a problem. So that T-80 BVK kind of one taps our Leopard 2A3 over there. We take some revenge on a 62, and we clean that up. And now there's only basically one T-80 UD that is left. On the left, we did take some hits there. We lost 2 of our 2A3s, mainly because I wasn't paying attention and microing these guys. But we do some damage there. Another BV destroyed. There goes the other one. And with that, we basically push out the remnants of our opponent here. And the next step is to capture the other zone. But Winnie here, moving up with a lot of airborne units. Pretty good player as well. Using his tanks in the right way. He micros them. And doesn't just blindly move them in. He has some artillery on the enemy command. That's going to probably destroy that unit. If he gets some good hits on him. Ooh. Down to 2 men. That guy's not having a good time. Down to the last dude, and that zone is now capped. Look at that. F-16 once again coming in. Didn't destroy... Nope. It destroyed a cub, I believe. Not bad, not bad. We get another seed run. Weren't able to fire. The arc or the turn radius was a bit too tight, so we do move him in once again to try to take out some of these AA pieces. So Tungush got taken out by the Marder, I believe, and these Marder Milans are actually hitting every ATGM shot in that one little engagement. Kind of made me proud. Look at that, another cub destroyed. And there goes Stahlbrecher, our opponent. He fought really well. I think one of his big mistakes was not utilizing his tanks in a more aggressive way. They were playing really defensive. And I think then it's kind of easy. It's kind of easy to take him out. Yeah, the F-16 cluster is really good. I think the 5th Panther, funny enough, has really good airplanes. The only thing you lack is fighters. You only have kind of crappy F4s and stuff. So now we're +4. Right side is also stabilized. I haven't really looked here too much, but Mike has pushed really nicely. He has infantry up on the front, tanks in the back. Even Recon Bradley's doing a lot of good work. Wonder who's going to win this engagement. TDBV firing first. And 1A1 firing after that, but the BV... Okay, never mind. He smoked. Oh, good. That was a good little micro there from those tanks. Really nicely done. At this point, I do call in some 1A5s. I just kind of needed more numbers, since everything here was stunned anyways. So we move in these guys. But speaking of moving in, Winnie does a huge airborne insertion with Chinooks. That is a lovely sight. Look at that. That looks very cool. That could be the intro of this video, if I ever make an intro for this video. That is dope. That's a lot of Chinooks, man. The cool thing is, these are all going to be sold back, so he's getting a lot of money back from selling those. And the good thing about Chinooks is they're really resilient, so probably a lot of them will survive. Look at that. Now that does include a command unit. So with that we bring it up to +8. We've completely overwhelmed the enemy on the left zones here. Pipiaka is still in the fight. He has a couple of units in a defensive posture here. But yeah, what is going on his rear? That is the real problem right now. That is the real problem. Now there's about 2 minutes left here. We can already guess who won. But really fun little battle. And definitely have been enjoying the armored gameplay more recently. And I want to get better at that because it's such a good strategy. Man, Mars are just having a field day. But yeah, that was definitely a really fun little fight. I do want to thank all of the patrons that are supporting the channel, because you guys are really just enabling me to also spend more time on making intros, for example. You know, spend more time to get a good video out, not just, you know, upload whatever battle I did, because that's just boring. I want to really give you guys good content, so I do try to get some good matches. a lot of matches that I do don't get posted because they're simply not entertaining, and that would kind of be a waste of your time, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, right side really recovered really well. So Mike, I don't know if I said to you guys, but he is a patron. And but he's not the most experienced player. He's level 8, although level doesn't really say much. It does say something about how many games you've done and stuff. But he did really well in this game. We had a 4th Discord member kind of guide him through and tell him, you know, kind of be a little bit of a backseater, but in a constructive way. And that really helped him to kind of see the flaws of his gameplay and improve upon it. But yeah, in general, everyone played really, really well. 82nd versus 35th, really good little toss-up. And I was very happy to see the 82nd do this well against, you know, the 35th Airborne. 35th is really rough. Now, arrow rifle insertion with helis, man, it's underrated. It works so well. Usually, opponents don't have like a second line of defense. So as soon as you pass over the first line, you're good. But yeah, 12,000 kills, 4,950 losses, absolutely insane. That was a really good match. The Mars killed only a T80, but I wonder how many units we killed in total with that. So that's one, so 2 T80s. And the Ural, that's really about it. So we didn't really destroy a lot, we just stunned a lot. Leopards really just did most of the work here. Yeah, just clapping tanks left and right. Look at that Roland. 3 Su-25s, 2 MiG-27s and a MiG-29. Absolutely insane. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. This was definitely a really fun little mission. Once again, thanks for all the subs and patrons, and I'll see you guys back in the next one. Take care.